All right, we should be on. All right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and those of great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Got the Elder Yatazak here. I'm the brother Anah from GMS Dallas, and we're continuing the series of 2 Samuel. Last lesson we did was 2 Samuel chapter 19, and we saw the aftermath of David, quelling the rebellion, I'll say, that his son Absalom had stirred up, and you had people making amends with him, and basically Israel was still reeling from having rebelled against their king. And so what you're going to see in chapter 20 is another son of Belial, okay, that's written and recorded in history, that stirred up strife, okay, and mischief. And ultimately the common denominator of individuals that cause contention, okay, is basically just that, man. They have a spirit of dissension upon them. They don't have the unity that brings us together, okay, when we're in the spirit. Okay, so this is just another example of that. There's many examples in the scriptures, but this is just another example. So I brought to Zah, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. But actually, first, let me go ahead and start off with this scripture here. Start off with let me see here. Here we go. Mark them that cause divisions. All right, this is actually I'll get this one here. Yeah, this is Romans chapter 16 and verse 17. It says, "Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them." Oh, hold on. I'm sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. My bad. Let me throw that up there real quick. Window. All right, can you see?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. All right. My bad. This is Romans chapter 16 and 17. It says, "Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them." So what we're about to read is this guy here, Sheba. Okay. He was a man that caused division. Okay, because here it is, it was a sensitive situation where King David literally had to flee for his life, okay, out of his own house because of his son basically usurping authority and leading a rebellion against his father. Okay, talking about Absalom. Absalom led a rebellion against his father David, and that situation was fresh, okay, to where it just got settled to the point where Absalom got put to death, okay, by Joab. And here it is, you got this guy Sheba coming in, and we're going to read a little bit about him. Okay, so this is
Hey, before you get started on that, can you get what's that? Sirach chapter 2. When I come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation.
Right. Con. Get that real quick. All right, this is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure." Okay, and that's what David had to do. Okay, he had to make sure that he was ready to take on the temptations, okay, that he faced, okay, and made sure that he endured and had faith in the Lord, which is why when you read a lot of David's Psalms, they're prayers of endurance, prayers of, maintaining integrity. Okay. Continue on in verse 2, it says, "And make not haste in time of trouble." Yeah, don't run out of patience. Okay. Because the scriptures say, "Let patience work its perfect work," man. Okay. In the trial of our faith works patience. Okay. So what that's going to lead to is an increase in faith. Did you want more on that, Zaquan?
Keep going. Read down to like 5 or 6.
Okay. I'm gonna drop down to verse 5. Oh, you said continue through or drop?
Yeah, jump down to 5.
Okay. Dropping down to verse 5, it says, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him."
And we've been going through this account. We've been going through this account with our king. You know what I'm saying? With King David. So with King David, he was coming to serve the Lord, and it was always something. One thing after another, to the point to where most of those songs came from. Lord, make sure I'm not the one tripping. Test me, Lord. You know what I'm saying? Giving our praises to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai when he was delivered from certain situations. Right. You see, the mindset of King David was unmatched, especially during that time. You know, and he's the example that we've been going through for this whole series. You know, it said in the kingdom, the smallest man is gonna be as David. You know, so you want to make sure you grabbing a hold of that mindset as you read these accounts. You see, you want to get into the mind of our fathers and of our forefathers. You see, because we're gonna be going through similar things. You know, you got it.
Got it. All right, so that's pretty much the point here. This whole chapter, of course, is good. Going into a mindset, you know, of what mindset to have whenever you are faced with adversity.
It's a good chapter. It's a good chapter to boost your faith when your faith ain't on 100. You want to read a chapter like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You got it.
Hey, the scriptures say, our spirit is renewed day by day. You know, our flesh, you know, it waxes weaker, but our spirit is renewed by, you know, going into the scriptures, prayer, fellowship. So that's the purpose of these lessons, man. And so go ahead and get started here in the 2 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 10. I'm sorry, chapter 20 and verse 1. It says, "And there happened to be there a man of Belial." And when you get this word, I believe we might have looked it up in the past already, Belial. We'll look it up again. Okay. Strong's H 1100. Let's see. Bal Yael. Okay. It's a compound word. See here. Worthlessness. Good for nothing. Unprofitable. A base fellow. Okay, and you have base fellows all throughout the scriptures. Okay, matter of fact, I think there's an example in Acts. Yeah, Acts chapter 17. certain lewd fellows. Let me get this real quick.
Oh yeah, the baser sort.
Yeah. Okay, Acts chapter 17 and verse 5. It says, "But the Jews which believed not," and this is during the time of the Acts of the Apostles, right? And Paul and Silas were, you know, on their mission, okay, to push the gospel. And it says, but the Jews or the Israelites, okay, which believed not, moved with envy, took unto them certain lewd fellows, okay, of the baser sort, or sons of Belial, base man. Okay, and gathered a company and set all the city on an uproar and assaulted the house of Jason and sought to bring them out to the people. So basically, a carnal-minded man, that's a son of Belial. Okay, because if you can be persuaded to fight against, you know, the Lord's men, then you're not spiritual, so you're carnal-minded. Okay. And scripture said carnal mind is enmity with the Most High. So, you know, going back to this definition, that's pretty much what this means. Now, one of these words, let me see. Yael, prophet. Okay. And then going back, because it's a compound word. This word here, Bal Yah, is without. So basically without profit or no profit. So worthless. That's where you get the word here. Bal Ya'il. Okay. So that's whenever you see that, Belial. Okay.
Yo,
It's just the Hebrew word. Oh, you have something, Zaquan?
yeah. Oh
Oh,
no, my son just walked. Just got here. Hold up.
okay. All right, I'll meet you until. But it says it was a son, or excuse me, a man of Belial. Okay, so it says whose name was Sheba. Okay, the son of Bichri, a Benjamite, and he blew a trumpet and said, "We have no part in David, neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse." So that old, House of Saul spirit, okay, had his opportunity to rear its ugly head because there was a weakness that was shown, with the whole revolt, even though David was, shown to be the one that the Lord was dealing with in that situation. You still had individuals just like Korah, Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. They saying that Moses ain't the only one. Moses and Aaron ain't the only ones that the Lord's dealing with. That basically it's we could give examples all day, right? When you go into that, I think that's in Numbers, if I'm not mistaken. Let me fact check. Korah. Oh, there must be multiple ones. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, Korah, number 16. When you read about that, right? Read about that whole situation and how the Lord jacked up him, his family, and all that pertains to him. Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, all right. So let me see here. So again, it says he blew the trumpet and said, "We have no part in David. We have neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. Every man to his tents, O Israel." So yeah, they try to do him like matter of fact, I get that precept held in First Kings. They try to do him like your boy Rehoboam. You see, because basically, our people did the same thing, but they did it, in the right spirit. This time, in this instance that we're reading here in 2 Samuel, this guy Sheba, he was trying to basically divide Israel, but it wasn't basically what's the word? Justified. It wasn't justified because David was the anointed king. Okay. And he was in the spirit. But I'm gonna read this real quick. 1 Kings 12 and 16. It says, "So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king." This is talking about again when Solomon. This is Rehoboam's situation, right? Rehoboam was the son of Solomon, the grandson of King David. Okay, so it says, "So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, What portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see to thine own house, David." So Israel departed unto their tents. And this is a key verse. There's a lot that's oftentimes looked over because it shows you, we say a lot, the northern kingdom, southern kingdom. Well, this verse right here, it's a quick verse, but guess what? This is the verse that was the instant where the kingdom was split and from into two sections, the northern and the southern. So if you don't understand this key time, this one verse throughout the whole vast history, you're not going to understand the remainder of the history that happened afterwards. Why was Israel taken, the northern kingdom taken over at a different time than the southern kingdom? Why does it differentiate Israel and Judah? You won't understand those things unless we go into this. So it may seem small, but it's good to go into. So anyway, going back to this 2 Samuel, this is what your boy Sheba was trying to do back then: separate Israel, divide Israel. Okay, and say, "Hey, look, everybody tend to the things of your own house. Everybody just go back home. there's nothing to see here. This guy, he's nobody. That's how he tried to play David. You know, he's a Judite. We're Benjamites. Why are we even talking about this guy? You know what I mean? That was a spirit that they had even going back thousands of years ago. So of course now you got people that's still in that same spirit today. Okay. So continue on verse 2, it says, so every man of Israel went up from after David and followed Sheba, the son of Bichri, but the men of Judah clave unto their king from Jordan even to Jerusalem.
Now keep in mind, one thing you want to keep in mind is this is leading up to eventually Solomon ruling. But you always see that division was between Israel. So just like now, people want to say, well, why can't everybody just get along and all that? Look, Israel is going to be divided until the Lord bring them back together. Get Romans 11:28 real quick. I know we get it all the time, but you got to have an understanding of that. Matter of fact, you can get in the NLT too if you want to.
Right.
I don't think I ever looked it up in the NLT.
I got it here. I'll pull it up in the Bibles. Okay, this is Romans 11:28. I'll read it in the King James first. It says, as concerning the gospel, they are enemies for your sakes, but as touching the election, they are beloved for the Father's sakes.
You see that? The gospel, I would say, concerning, it's all about the gospel. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. His ways are higher than our ways. And this is a prime example of it. You know, go ahead.
This is Romans 11:28 in the NLT. It says, many of the people of Israel are now enemies of the good news. And this benefits you Gentiles, you Israelite foreigners. Yet they are still the people he loves because he chose their ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
You see that? So the Lord put Israel head to head. Right? The elect versus the 2/3.
Mm-hmm.
But they all Israelites at the end of the day. So when people get all bent out of shape because everybody's not getting along right now, they don't understand the scriptures, they don't understand the prophecy. You know what I'm saying? They lack understanding.
Right.
You see? You got it.
Hey, I like this next verse. It says, for the Most High's gifts and his call can never be withdrawn. Yeah. So that lets you know that those Israelites that came through the loins of Jacob, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you know, on down the line, going, you know, down generation upon generation, that doesn't change the fact that you are, you know, one of the Most High's chosen people, and you have opportunity to receive this word in the times that we're in now. So it's a beautiful thing.
And who had resisted his will? Because at the end of the day, whether you of the elect or you of the 2/3, you're not doing what you want to do. You're doing what the Lord set you up to do. You see, so when Nate has this notion, when Bishop Nate has this notion that no matter what kind of sin you do, you're gonna be a baby in the kingdom, he clearly don't understand that's what I'm saying. By us not resisting the Lord's will in no kind of way and doing what he set us forth to do, we win by default. You know what I'm saying? I set you up to be a 2/3, so you're gonna be a 2/3. Therefore, I can forgive you because it's on me. I'm gonna have mercy on who I'm gonna have mercy on. I'm gonna have compassion on whom I want to have compassion on. You know? I just want to bring that out, man. You know, all this Rodney King, can we just get along spirit? It's not biblical.
Right. Yep.
You got it.
All right, so let's go back here to 2 Samuel. That flows in just with the point you just made, Jaquan. That get along spirit it's not biblical, man. Because look, you got guys bucking up against righteous men. Okay, and then we're gonna see what happened to this guy, Sheba. Okay, let's see if they went what they say, walking into the sunset, sailing. Let's see if they went sailing into the sunset. Okay, this guy Sheba. So it says in verse 3, 2 Samuel 20:3, it says, and David came to his house at Jerusalem, and the king took the 10 women, his concubines, who he had left to keep the house, and put them in ward. Yeah, because remember, I got that pulled up too here in 2 Samuel 15. you know, when we got, you know, when David heard word that Absalom basically was crowned as king in Hebron, he said, okay, look, you know, my counselors and my men, we're gonna get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? We're the one he wants, so we're gonna get up out of here. You know, obviously ain't nobody gonna see no harm in no women overseeing the house. So he left his 10 concubines to, you know, see over the house, make sure they become overgrown with whatever. And here it is. Absalom spreads a tent over the house and pops them before all Israel. So this is their punishment, I'll say, for, you know, I mean, because come on, man, you know, they consented to that. You know what I mean? When you think about it, you know, so they was all going off, right? They committed adultery. So this is what David did. He said, he put them in ward and fed them, but went not in unto them. So they were shut up unto the day of their death, living in widowhood. Yeah, because even though their husband was alive, well, they they did something unimaginable and slept with the son. You know, if you can imagine that, right? So, you know, really, if
that's how Reuben lost his inheritance, doing the same thing.
man,
Reuben was the firstborn. Reuben was the firstborn son, but when he slept with Jacob's concubine, he messed everything up.
right,
At least for itself.
yeah, and the scriptures say both should be put to death, you know, but he had mercy. You see, even in that situation, he had mercy. He didn't put him to death, even though according to the law, it would have been the recompense.
Right.
You see here, continue on in verse 4, it says, then said the king unto Amasa. Now remember this. I want to go back. Let me go to the commentary real quick. Amasa was the one that what's the son, David's son that rebelled?
Absalom.
Absalom, the water. Yeah, Amasa was the one that Absalom had basically made the captain over his host. So Absalom made Amasa captain over Absalom host, and Amasa was the one that basically, you know, went out against King David. Okay, 2 chapters ago. But when you know, we read it last chapter in chapter 19. David said, "Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? No pressure. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna squash the beef. Matter of fact, Amasa, you can be captain over my host." Because remember, who's the captain over David's host? Joab.
Joab. Yep.
Right. But David said, "Look, we're gonna reconcile. Okay, you know what I mean? Y'all don't, you know, I know y'all hesitant to, you know what I mean, to reconcile. But look, to show y'all that I don't have no pressure against you guys, you know, I'm gonna make Amasa captain over my host, right?" And we read that in chapter 19. So this is why the king said to Amasa, "Assemble me the men of Judah within 3 days, and be thou here present." Okay, because and I'm gonna go to the commentary real quick and read this first chapter. Okay, it says with virtually the whole, or the first paragraph, excuse me, with virtually the whole nation of Israel, the whole nation in a state of unrest, Sheba, a Benjamite, seized the opportunity to try to lead the northern tribes to break away from David. Says, being anxious to reestablish his kingdom in Jerusalem, David did not leave the city, but sent his new commander in chief, Amasa, to assemble the army and pursue Sheba. Okay, so this is what's going on right now. So going back here to verse 5, okay, it says, so Amasa went to assemble the men of Judah, but he tarried longer than the set time which he had appointed him, talking about David. So Amasa, David told Amasa, look, you got 3 days, gather an army, okay, so we can go after this dude Sheba. And Amasa he took longer than 3 days to do it. So David took matters into his own hand. He said, in verse 6, it says, and David said to Abishai, now remember, Joab and Abishai were brothers. Okay. It says, or if not brothers, yeah, I think let me just double check. Hold on, let me not misspeak, because it got the graph down here. It got the graph down here that helps me out. Yeah, here we go. Yep, you got Abishai, Joab, and Asahel. Yep, the sons of Zeruiah, okay, which is David's brother. So yeah, so Joab and Abishai were brothers, right? So just had to confirm that. So it says, and David said to Abishai, now shall Sheba, the son of Bichri, do us more harm than did Absalom. It says, take thou thy Lord's servants and pursue after him, lest he get him fenced cities and escape us. Right. So David said, hey, look, we got to quell this, this situation before it leads to another insurrection. Okay. And in verse 7, it says, and there went out after him Joab's men and the Cherethites and the Pelethites and all the mighty men. And they went out of Jerusalem to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bichri. Now, keep in mind, David went to Abishai, okay, for this. And basically, Joab went out there too, okay? Even though David didn't necessarily tell Joab to go, he told Abishai to go. But it says, verse 8, when they were at a great stone, which is in Gibeon, Amasa went before them. Okay. And so basically they caught up to the two companies, they pretty much, caught up. They pretty much, I'll say, met with each other. Okay. Amasa's company, because remember, he was gathering the army, but he was taking a long ass time. And then Joab mobilized Abishai David mobilized Abishai quickly. So it was two groups of men, and they met at a stone in Gibeon. Okay. Both of them had the same commands. So it says Amasa went before them, meaning he got there first. It says, and also too, Amasa was the one that was, I'll say, leading the two companies, if you will. It says, and Joab's garment that he had put on was girded unto him, and upon it a girdle with a sword fastened upon his loins and the sheath thereof. So kind of think you got a sword, you got the sword, and then you got, but the sheath is it's not a big sword, you know what I mean, that sticks out. Like the sheath is kind of concealed, maybe like a dagger, you know what I mean, like a smaller sword, like a dagger, and they got the strap, on the leg, you know what I'm saying, just kind of right there by the hand, right? It says, and as he went forth, it fell out. And verse 9, it says, and Joab said to Amasa, art thou in health, my brother? And Joab took Amasa by the beard with the right hand to kiss him. And this part right here reminds me of when Judas betrayed Yahushua with a kiss. And I pulled that precept. I'm going to go ahead and get it real quick.
God. Yeah, you had that concealed weapon waiting for that boy.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to that boy? Joab got it.
See, and niggas, so crazy, Quan. It's like that's black culture even till today. You know what I'm saying? Spot him, got him. When I see that boy, I'm gonna pull up on that. Spin the block. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let it spray and all that niggerism. Niggas love shit like this. What we're reading right here. They love, this type of, what's the word? Activity.
Shit, look at Sakari. When they read about Sakari, they were like, "Yeah, we them niggas. That's us." Oh boy. Okay. They just proved a hell of a point with that, right?
Right. They them niggas, all right. So the point is, the niggerish activity is clearly shown in the scriptures, and we see, our people acting out those same types of things in this current time, man. Okay, so real quick, Matthew chapter 26 and verse 48. It says, "Now he that betrayed him gave him a sign, saying, gave them a sign, saying, Whomsoever I shall kiss, that same is he. Hold him fast." Yeah, this is the plan that Judas had told the centurions. Hey, look, the man that because it was like, it was Yahushua, and then the other, 10 other disciples, or I'm sorry, 11 other disciples. So he, had to tell the centurions. Judas Iscariot had to tell the centurions which one was Yahushua, right? So, and also, you can think it was dark, you know what I mean? So it says, and forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, "Hail, master," and kissed him. Okay, right? And then, Yahushua, said what he said. But the point is right here, the fact that Judas Iscariot betrayed Yahushua with a kiss. You see? All right. And so this was like a deceitful act. All right. Asking him, "Hey, are you good, man? Are you in health, my brother?" And he grabbed him by the beard, or I'm sorry, it took him. It says, took a master by the beard with the right hand, and that's another culture thing, kiss on the cheek, to greet each other. But this is what Joab's intention really was.
I'll say, look the word up for edification.
Okay, kiss. Okay, yep.
Yep. Yeah, because you got demons out there to be like, "See, man, look." Nah, man. That's what I'm saying.
Man, Con, you're right. This is Strong's H5401, Nashak. It says, let me see here. To kiss, to put together, to touch gently, literally or figuratively, to kiss. Hold on, let me
go to the root word.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, let me go to the root word first. All right. The root word is nashak, same thing, but it says to kindle, I guess it says through the idea of fastening up. So let me just get the scripture index real quick and go to 2 Samuel 20 and 9. Kiss, third person. Okay. Yeah, we probably would have to go into that's like a manners and customs type of.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't know, I mean, okay, if it's your first time listening to a video, okay, cool. But
I would say being a homosexual is against the law.
Right.
So start there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know they wasn't kissing like that. So
right.
Yeah, a kiss was a greeting. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, manners and customs. Y'all feel free to look those things up, man. I would say anytime something might sound like it's confusing to you, make sure you dive in, man. Make sure you dive in and figure it out, because the Bible don't lie.
Okay, here's something here. It says it has been well rendered. Let me see here. Excuse me. It says they shall declare their fidelity and submission, but it can hardly be maintained that such a ceremony was used to show submission to the minister of the king in the exercise of his functions. Let me see here. So basically used to declare fidelity, right? When you confide in somebody, and also submission, basically in a sense of just like, you acknowledge somebody, like a hug, you know what I mean? You acknowledge somebody that they're mutually connected here. It says here, let me see, joined together, peace follows upon righteousness. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We can, go more into that part, but that's what the blue letter has on it.
Hey, if anybody on the comment board want to look up kiss when Judas kissed the Lord to betray him, look that word up. We gonna keep going.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Put it on the comment board, Baba Kasha.
Yep. Look that up in the Greek. I didn't think about that. All right. So continuing on here in verse 10. Okay. It says, but Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand, because remember he dropped it, right? So he didn't take it out and walk up to him and be like, hey, what's up, man? You know, he dropped it. It fell out. I'll say it fell out of the sheath. So he casually, naturally picked it up, and it just so happened to be in his hand. And Joab, you know, was checking up on him with the sword in his hand. So it didn't look menacing, right? So it says, Amasa took no heed to the sword that was in Joab's hand. So he smote him therewith in the fifth rib, and shed out his bowels to the ground, and struck him not again, and he died. Now, some about that sounds kind of familiar. I feel like we read something similar to this not too long ago. Let's go into 2 Samuel. Okay. Or is it? Yeah, 2 Samuel, chapter 2. Okay. Now remember, this is when the house of Saul was fighting against the house of David. Okay. And basically Joab's brother got killed the same way by Abner. Okay. So I'm gonna read it real quick. 2 Samuel chapter 5 and 23. It says, 2 Samuel chapter 2 and 23. Howbeit he refused to turn aside, talking about Asahel. Wherefore Abner, with the hinder end of the spear, smote him under the fifth rib, that the spear came out behind him, and he fell down there and died in the same place. And there's a major, I believe it's, what is it, the liver? There's underneath the fifth rib, or is it the heart? Okay, one of the major organs is, you know.
Yeah, I'm thinking heart.
Yeah, probably.
Matter of fact, dang, my laptop tripping.
Yeah.
Somebody put what's behind the fifth rib on the comment board, Baba Kasha.
Yeah. Which organ? You know, because you probably read the coin, probably because your ribs start right beneath your shoulders. So yeah. You know, you smite somebody under the fifth rib. That's all she wrote. Okay, it says, and it came to pass that as many as came to the place where Asahel fell down and died, stood still. So the same thing here, right? Like everybody stood still. They saw Amasa's body, I'll say, right? It says, so Joab and Abishai, his brother, pursued after Sheba, the son of Bichri. So basically, Joab, he was kicking ass and taking names. He had a whole list of dudes that he murdered. Okay, he killed Abner, he killed Absalom, he killed Amasa, right? Talking about Israelites. Okay, that David did not command him to kill. So Joab went overboard, you know, when it came to these things. Okay. It says, and one of Joab's men stood by him and said, he that favoreth Joab, and he that is for David, let him go after Joab. So he's like, hey, look, any of you guys that got a problem, I'm gonna turn the light on because it's kind of dark. He's like, any of you guys that got a problem with what Joab just did, you know, hey, let it be known now. Look, we on a mission. If you with King David, then follow us. You know what I mean? If you scared, you know, go home. That's basically the sentiment that they put out there, you know, because it was like, okay, damn, the dude that was sent by David to go, you know, on this mission, he just got killed. You know what I mean? By one of our own men. So they cleared that up. And that was a wicked thing that Joab did, man. You know, that was unsolicited, uncalled for,
unsanctioned.
Yeah, unsanctioned. Yeah, he just, you know, because ultimately Joab didn't trust him. and King David made Amasa captain of his host out of act, like basically an act of compassion, right? And then Joab was like, man, nah, that's not wise. This guy he conspired, he led an army against you. You're gonna make him the captain of your host? To hell with that. So, Joab did that. And again, he knew that David wasn't gonna kill him because that was his nephew. You know what I mean? So it says, so basically Joab was just roaming the earth going buck wild. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. It says, I'm gonna turn this light on real quick.
Con.
Continuing on, it says in verse 12, and Amasa wallowed in blood in the midst of the highway, and when the man saw that all the people stood still, he removed Amasa out of the highway into the field and cast a cloth upon him. When he saw that everyone that came by him stood still. So, excuse me. So yeah, he was still alive. You know what I mean? He was just bleeding out. Obviously he didn't immediately die. He bled out, however long that took. But it was a bunch of people around. So they're like, what the hell is going on? So the guy was like, look, we'll toss this guy out the way. You know what I'm saying? Keep it moving. So they was on some niggerish. I mean, none of that was supposed to go down, but it went down. Let's see what the commentary has. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. All right, it says, when Amasa was slow in assembling the army, David sent off his private army, the fighting force that had been with him since the days of his flight from Saul. David placed Abishai in charge of the operation, but Joab went also. When the troops with Abishai and Joab met with the troops with Amasa, Joab murdered Amasa and again took control of the army. So, yeah, to let you know, Joab was tripping because he wasn't even sent. David didn't even tell him, hey, go out and pursue this guy, Sheba. But anyway, going back to the mission, okay, 2 Samuel 20 and 13, it says, when he was removed out of the highway, all the people went on after Joab to pursue after Sheba, the son of Bichri. Okay, it says, and he went through all the tribes of Israel unto Abel and to Beth Makkah and all the Berites, and they were gathered together and went and also went after him. So let's see where Abel is. Let's see where it is in the map. Abal. Okay. It says city in northern Israel near Bayath Makkah. Okay, let me see here. There's two cities named Abel. Let's see where Bayath Makkah is. Let's see here. It says northern Israel, so I would imagine they traveled up pretty far. Yeah, Bayath Makkah, which means house of pressure. Cool. It just says a place in the northern kingdom. But anyway, probably a smaller city up north. And it says in verse 25, and they came and besieged him in Abel of Beth Makkah, and they cast up a bank against the city, and it stood in the trench, and all the people that were with Joab battered the wall to throw it down. So they came up there and set up and basically besieged the city, right? This is how intent David was of cutting out that leaven that was, that cancer that was still kind of alive in Israel. Okay. It says in verse 16, it says, then cried a wise woman out of the city, here say, I pray you unto Joab, come near hither, that I may speak with thee. And when he was come near unto her, the woman said, art thou Joab? And he answered, I am he. Then she said unto him, hear the words of thine handmaid. And he said, and he answered, I do hear. Then she spake, saying, they're wont to speak in old times, saying, they shall surely ask counsel at Abel. And so they ended the matter. I am one of them that are peaceable and faithful in Israel. Thou seekest to destroy a city and a mother in Israel. Why wilt thou swallow up the inheritance of the Lord? Right. So she was asking, like, what's going on? Like, why y'all besieging our city? What happened? Well, what do we do? It says in verse 20, and Joab answered and said, far be it from me that I should swallow up or destroy. The matter is not so, but a man of Mount Ephraim, Sheba, the son of Bichri by name, hath lifted up his head against the king, even against David. Deliver him only, and I will depart from the city. And the woman said unto Joab, behold, his head shall be thrown to thee over the wall. So
I was saying that goes to show you. You see what this whole thing going on with Hamas and all that, and Israel and all this mess, they'll blow up a whole hospital and don't even get the person that they're looking for. Joab was like, no, I ain't coming to mess your whole city up. No, I'm looking for one dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And she was like, well, shit, okay, well, one dude it is.
Right.
Yep. That's what you call diplomacy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't got everything ain't gotta be guns blazing and all that. You know what I'm saying? As bloody as Joab was, he would still be in order on some account.
Right.
You got it.
Yeah, no, I was just looking at some history accounts, but yeah, no, he pretty much, he was like, man, look, I'm trying to go home. We done walked all the way up through the whole country of Israel. Send us this dude, and we'll be out you guys' hair, out you guys' hair. And she was like, bet. So, and that's how it's gonna be, and well, obviously not in the kingdom, right? Like in the kingdom, we're not gonna have any rebels of Israel. Okay, but I'll say back in the ancient world, that's how it was, and that's how it's supposed to be, right? Like in these times, like that's how it's supposed to be. You got a rebel, a nigga that's causing contention, causing strife. Hey, or the people will give you up, over to the judges, righteousness. Okay, scriptures talk about that in Zechariah chapter 13. Okay, how the false prophet is going to be basically killed by his own parents. See if I can find that real quick. I'm in the NLT. Put in the KJ. Yep. Oh, who brought this scripture out recently? The brother from Hawaii, Gabar Yahweh, he brought this scripture out. Let me go up. Let me see here. Yeah, this is Zechariah chapter 13 and verse 3. It says, and it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother, talking about false prophets, by the way, that his father and his mother that begat him shall say unto them, thou shalt not live, for thou speakest lies in the name of the Lord. And his father and his mother that begat him shall thrust him through when he prophesied. Talking about false prophets. When you go up, these first two verses talk about, false prophets preaching. Okay. And it's going to come a time where the false prophets, these, prosperity pimps that's, getting exposed, people are going to rebel against them, man. And, rebel in the sense of give them over to the authorities, or they're just going to take care of the matters themselves. Okay. And just judge them right on the spot. And pretty much this is an example of that. Okay. This guy, Sheba, he went into this city to seek refuge, but the city that he was seeking refuge in threw his head over the wall. Okay. Because of that insurrection. Again, we mentioned the situation with Korah, Dathan, and Abiram rebelling, and what happened to them. People separated themselves from them, and everything that they had got swallowed up. The Lord opened up the earth and swallowed them up. Right. So it says, and pretty much, let me see here, verse 22. Let me get this here. It says, then the woman went unto all the people in her wisdom. Okay. Now that's a woman in her right mind right here. Okay. She pretty much spared any destruction of the city. It says, and they cut off the head of Sheba, the son of Bichri, and cast it out to Joab, and she blew a trumpet. Excuse me, and he blew a trumpet, and they retired from the city, every man to his tent, and Joab returned to Jerusalem unto the king.
Yep. Mission accomplished.
Yep, that's it. Mission accomplished, man. And you see how certain people were pretty much off, and you can make the argument, well, man, what did Amasa do? What did Abner do? What did Absalom do, man? They all did their things. When you read about those three men that Joab killed, that I just mentioned, they all did their things that showed that they were not loyal, okay, to King David at one point or another. And that was, even though Joab took a carnal direction, that was always his goal and his aim, to make sure that he was preserving, keeping the king's good health and best interests. And so these last couple verses, last 4 verses here, are basically an update to the king's I'll say hierarchy, if you will, because we're gonna read this and then we're gonna compare it to, actually let's read how it was set up before, and then we're gonna read these last 4 verses, because all this is like an outline of David's basically who was in the power seat with David. What was it in chapter 8, I believe? 2 Samuel. Let me see. Is it in this chapter? Yeah, I think it's 2 Samuel chapter 8. Give me a second. Samuel 8. Oh, it's right here. I got it pulled up already. 2 Samuel 8 and 15. Now, this is when, when Absalom was still alive, and basically, he had just conquered Jerusalem and established Jerusalem, right? And so this is 2 Samuel 8 and 15, and David reigned over all Israel, and David executed judgment and justice unto all his people. And Joab, the son of Zeruiah, was over the host, and Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was recorder, and Zadok, the son of Ahitub, and Ahimelech, the son of Abiathar, were the priests, and Seraiah was the scribe, and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over both the Cherethites and Pelethites, and David's sons were chief rulers. All right, so just kind of like how you got today. I mean, not exactly like it, but think about like the executive branch of government. You got the president, you got the secretary of treasury, secretary of state, secretary of defense, this and that, right? Certain men that are basically set up to oversee entire branches. Same thing here. But what this does is kind of compares how it changed over time, being that some of David's sons had died. So this is 2 Samuel 20 and 23. Now Joab was over all the hosts of Israel, and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, was over the Cherethites and over the Pelethites, and Adoram was over the tribute, and Jehoshaphat, the son of Ahilud, was the recorder, and Shiva was scribe, and Zadok and Abiathar was the priest. It says, and Ira also the Jairite was a chief ruler about David. So you no longer had, David's sons as chief rulers. He had appointed another man, as chief ruler, and kind of some of these other positions stayed the same. But I thought that was interesting how, it used to be his sons were the chief rulers, but you see how that ended up with rebellion. Okay. Right. David's sons were chief rulers in chapter 8, 2 Samuel 8. But when you go 2 Samuel 20, he put another man, in that position. So that was the end of the chapter. And, those were the main points that stood out to me. Let me see. Is anything in the comment board? Okay, cool. No, we don't got nothing on there. But yeah, that's pretty much the chapter. And then those are the precepts. I think that's all the ones I have lined up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like you said, it's always gonna be something when you come to serve the Lord. You see? So, hey, all these different situations was written aforetime for our learning. So we pull spiritually from these accounts. You know? I said the spirit of the Lord is always working. And we always gotta be in tune with it. When we're not in tune with it, we need to get in tune with it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's
So,
right.
yeah.
So yeah,
I don't got no more precepts.
Con. So yeah, I'll just make the assessment of basically this chapter 20 was pretty much the end of the things that I'll say David suffered directly through his rebellion, or with his transgression with Sheba, and how his life was changed. The sequence of events that happened because of his transgression with that situation. Of course, there's a few more chapters in the book, but we're gonna go ahead and close out here. And Abaratazah, you brothers and sisters were edified. With that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.